Hello everyone. We'll be learning Python by the time we are learning Selenium. Along with each other we'll be working with. Wherever the concept is to be understood, I'll be telling you that before and then we'll be applying it with Selenium. Okay? So I'll just will start with the session. As you all know that Selenium is an automation testing tool, right? Now when I talk about automation testing tool, it's an browser based one. So it will work on any browser that you want, but it will not work on the desktop specific application or something, only for the web-based applications. Over here on the official website of Selenium also it says that Selenium is automating browsers. So we'll be coming to it that what are Selenium, how we can get that into the system. We'll be getting that. But before that, I'll just will like to take you to few of the questions that people do ask before going into the session or taking the session. Some of the questions that what actually we are going to learn in this particular course. So when I talk about Selenium, Selenium is not a small term. Inside Selenium, there are many terms like WebDriver, it's an interface, then we have PyTest. PyTest is itself a framework to write the test cases. Like in manual testing, you might have write test codes, right? So it's a particular framework how you can communicate and how you can generate some reports, something like for that PyTest is being used. Then we have frameworks. The frameworks are actually the combination of Selenium and PyTest along, and we work through it to make a proper approach to test any of the web-based application. When I talk about Git is for something that if you are on the local machines and you want to combine your data and run on a single web-based application, and that from with that you can take the code from Git and you can execute it using the Git as well, and you can use the Jenkins as well. Grid is a system by which you can basically run the test cases parallelly even on a single machine, or if you have multiple machines with different browsers, you can use Grid to save your time and run the test cases faster. Okay, so these are some of the things that we will be learning throughout the course, and we'll be paying a lot of attention so that all the concepts get clear. Okay. Then the question is that will I get the access to the videos? So of course if you have if you have enrolled and you have taken the course, then you can get through all the module videos that available over here. All of them you can go through them anytime. If you're not aware of Python that much, the first 10 modules that you can see, they all are the Python basics only. So you can go through that once if you want to, and you will understand what actually is going on in Python and how we are going to work with. Okay, this is one of the questions that people do ask. Recording of current session is also done, that right now I'm talking to you, right now I'm giving the class, that is going to be recorded and will be shared with you as well. The next question that I also asked you, that is Python required and are you aware of Python if you are not new to Python. So assuming that you are aware of some of the Python basics, we'll be taking it. But if you are absolutely new person to Python, you can just go to the Selenium website, and over here the first 10 modules you can go through. Everything is provided in detail. What are loops, what are the indentations, what are the comments, what are the from and import, building classes, objects, object-oriented concepts, inheritance, encapsulations, everything is taught in detail. So you will not face any issue. Still, if you face any issue, over here on your site, you have an option to provide us the information. Over here, you can see the query resolution forum. You can put your doubts over here. Whatever your doubts will be, we'll be helping you with that. Okay. Then after that, we do have a question that if I have a project and I want to have some help over that, and I just want to clear some interviews, how I will be able to do that? So basically there are two types of people that come for the trainings. One are those people who are already working in some company and want some help or want to learn more. And there is another people who just wants to learn Selenium and just want to get some job into that profile. So learning Selenium is not a big task. You just need 10 days to learn the commands, to understand the commands. But the main thing is about knowing Selenium in that much proficient that you can clear some interviews. So for that, along with the time and dedication, you will require at least 6 to 8 weeks to get those informations about Selenium in detail, that how actually which command is working and on which command what actually the concept is being applied. So almost 6 to 8 weeks if you want to clear some interview or you are working some project, you need that much time. Okay, the duration is also a question that there are 24 modules. How much time will I take to just complete all these modules? So approximating, if I'll just approximate the time, it will around take you around 30 to 35 hours to complete the whole course. That too if you're watching it with full dedication and not seeing it again and again, that only at one time it will take this much time to complete the course. Okay. And the course is divided in that much part that 50% of the dedication of the full course is given to the concepts, WebDriver, PyTest, Grid, Git, Jenkins, everything. The 50% dedication is to that only. And rest 50% dedication is to the frameworks, whichever approaches we have to work with the automation software. For that we have 50% dedication. And when it comes to the live project, any kind of project, so when we are working with frameworks, along with the basic framework, making a core framework and then making it an application based, we do provide an example to that as well, along with that. Okay, so these are some few questions that people do ask. Any questions from you people that you want to ask or you want to share with others? You can tell me.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. I'm not sure whether this is the forum to ask.
Okay.
For the beginner, should we go with Python and Selenium or Java with Selenium? I think this is a common question people ask.
Okay, that totally depends up to you that because Java is also an object-oriented programming and Python is also an object-oriented programming. So whichever language is comfortable with you, if you want to go with Java, Java is a little complex language. Calling functions, making functions, it has a different command, set of commands. And when it comes to Python as well, it's also complex, but it's not that much complex that a learner cannot learn it easily. So it's very easy to learn. So if you want to go for Python, that's also well. If you want to go with Java, that is also well.
Thank you. The second question I have, you said we should be able to go through all um, the training, which is you show me the website
Yeah,
where all the training materials are available.
yeah.
Is that even for the people who are taking this class, they should be able to allow to get access on those uh, um, uh, materials,
Yes,
like
yes.
what you said?
Exactly. Along with the live classes, you will get the access to these videos as well. Anytime if you're stuck while working with it or while practicing, you can go through these modules video as well. Okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other doubts from anyone?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
So can you just go back to spreadsheet once?
Sure.
So when you say 30 to 35 hours, does it include Python as well?
Yes, that includes the full course, including Python.
Okay, because I mean, there you mentioned like 50% towards WebDriver, PyTest, and 50% towards frameworks, right? And I believe that doesn't include Python. Is that
That
right?
okay. So that is what I wanted to say, that we will be covering in the class that 50% of my dedication will be provided to WebDriver's PyTest. Along with
Mm-hmm.
that, whenever the concept of Python will come, that is like some
Mm-hmm.
inheritance encapsulation. So I'll be providing
Mm-hmm.
information for that concept first, and then we'll be taking an example for the WebDriver, how we can combine that Python knowledge with the Selenium. So that is what is meant by this 50%.
Okay,
Okay.
so does that mean like, we'll directly starting with Selenium, and as and when, the concept is there, then we'll, learn about Python, correct?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
No issue. Any other doubts?
When the next session will be started, when I say next session, the next training program, are we allowed to join the program, or do we need to pay extra to join again?
Okay, you are asking for the next class, next batch you are asking for?
Next batch, yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
say that.
Regarding the next batch, I guess you have to pay for that if you want to go for the live classes.
Okay,
Okay?
sure.
Yeah. Rest, any doubts?
I have a question. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Uh,
Ajaypal
so,
Gill.
uh, yeah, this is Ajay Parkil.
Okay.
So, the my question is, this class is gonna be at 6:15. I mean, my time 6:15 p.m. and I don't know your time. Mine is specific,
The class, according to my timing, it's 7 o'clock in the morning.
7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be 5:30 then. Oh, I'll check that. Thank you. 7 a.m. Indian time, right?
Yeah, Indian time is 7 a.m. I'll be sending
All
the
right.
invites 15 minutes before the class, so you can join between that time. Okay?
All right.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be Monday to Friday Indian time, right?
Yes, Monday to Friday.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Firstly, I'll just also want to know that from where you all people are, from India or from outside India?
I'm from US. This is Raj.
Raj, okay, US. Okay. And Ajay is from?
I'm from USA, California, and I'm working for a healthcare company, and I need Python to, I was working on some data things,
Okay.
and that's why I need Python
Okay.
to, enhance my career.
Okay, okay, okay. And
Thank
rest
you.
of the two are from?
I'm in
Uh,
uh, uh, I'm in US. I'm in PST zone.
Okay. This was Vasu or
Vasu.
Vasu?
Yes,
Okay.
Vasu.
yeah, for me, I'm in India, but after the lockdown, I might travel to Norway.
Okay, you're in Norway right now.
No,
Okay.
I'm in India right now.
Right now you're India, but for the time you are in Norway for your workings, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I expect that there are no other doubts regarding the FAQs, or you have any question that you want to ask before going into the Selenium introduction?
May we know your name?
Just breathe.
Jasprit. Thank you, Jasprit.
Yeah. Okay, so shall I start moving further?
Yes,
Okay,
I guess.
so we already have seen that what actually Selenium says, right? Selenium is an automating testing software for browser-based applications. So before going into how to install it, how to get this, let's just talk a little about the evaluation, how the Selenium has evolved and what are the recents. I've talked about the WebDriver, right? So how this WebDriver came up. So let's just take a little look on that. If I'll just So when I talk about Selenium, the very first Selenium version that came up was Selenium RC. Selenium RC is a very old version. It was around 10 years ago that Selenium RC was in work, and it was able to support multiple browsers. As I said, multiple browsers. It can be any browser, right? It can be Chrome, Firefox, IE, Edge, anyone. Likewise, if it can support browsers, it can also support multiple languages as well. Whichever languages were object oriented, they all were supported by Selenium RC. Okay. Now, along with if I'll talk about languages, multiple languages can have dynamic scripts as well. So people were able to write the dynamic scripts easily and can run them as well. It was able to generate reports because at that time the framework was also being used to write the test codes, right? We have seen right now the PyTest is on work. Likewise, PyTest, there are another frameworks as well to write the test codes. So it can generate reports easily. But along with these features, there were some of the glitches as well, because of which the Selenium RC got obsoleted and right now it's not in use. Very few people or might be no people is using this Selenium RC. Okay. Along with Selenium, there was another tool as well, which was IDE. Now, when I talk about IDE, this IDE was nothing a big tool. It was just a record and run tool, and it only supported Mozilla. It cannot support any other browser except for Mozilla, and also was not able to generate any reports. So if I also have some 500 cases, I will not be able to run on this IDE. If I want to check the reports, I'll not be able to do that. So this IDE was not in use and people don't prefer working with it because if I want to test it on Chrome, I'll not be able to use it. So preferring people was using Selenium RC. We have already discussed a little about grid, that what actually grid is. So we have talking that if somewhat I have some local machines and on these local machines I have some different test codes written. It can be on Chrome. I have a test code to be checked on Chrome, then I have on Firefox, then IE, then Edge, and I want to run them along each other, means at the same time. So how will I be able to use it? I'll connect all these 4 local machines to a single main machine, and using a option, there is an option desired capabilities. We'll be discussing that. Using that, I can directly just connect this. I can just connect this with the local machines, the main machines and the local machine, and I can simply save some time by running them parallelly. This was the concept of grid, and we'll be discussing it, that how we can make a grid structure and can work with it. Okay. Now this was around 10 years ago the Selenium RC was coming. After some time, a new update came up, that was the WebDriver. WebDriver 2.0. This WebDriver is not the update or upgrade of the Selenium RC, but it's different. The commands, the functions that are different from Selenium RC, and it was able to work with this WebDriver 2 also supports the same functions, multiple browser support, languages support, can write dynamic scripts, and can generate reports, but with a different syntaxes and some different functions, enhanced functions you can say. IDE is still available, but the same thing is there. There is no update in that it supports some another browser, record and run, and it supports Mozilla only. Grid also updates by time and it becomes Grid 2 with enhanced features. After some time, 5 years ago, the WebDriver 3.0 came up. Right now also we are working with WebDriver 3.0. It also has enhanced functions along with the support of all these 4 things. Okay, so in the current session, in the course, we'll be working with WebDriver 3 version. Okay, we'll be seeing how we can get this in our system. If I'll go back and if I'll just minimize it. Before taking this into the function, if I'll just stop inverting. Okay, now I am firstly not going to Selenium installation. Let's just talk about the language that we are working with, Python. So how I can get the Python language in our system? You just need to go over your browser, whichever you prefer. Just write Python download. And the very first link that you can see over here, www.python.org. You just need to go over there. Okay, I'll also share the link in the chat so that you can get it from there as well. Okay, so you can get your Python from this particular link. You want to keep it, or you can keep it. Okay, now over here you can see the very first thing on the page that it's saying download Python 3.8.2. This is the latest version of Python that is available. It's supported on different operating systems, Windows, Linux, Mac, whichever you have. So if I have Windows PC, I can directly go over this link and it will start downloading the executable file. Okay, but over here if I'll scroll down more, you can see there are another versions as well available over here. 3.7.7, these are the previous releases. Along with that, there is Python 2.7 as well. Now these days, Python 2.7 is not that much used in the programming, web development or testing, but there are some things which are only done by this Python 2.7.17. So we will not prefer working with it, we'll prefer working with the 3 version. And to download it, you can directly go over the 3.8.2 and it will start downloading the executable file. I already have this in my system, so I won't download it again. I will tell you a little about the installation, that what are the basic checks that you need to keep in mind. Okay, so I'll say Python. It's an executable file, so it is going to be very easy to install. You just need to click on the next option. But just a little thing that you need to remember is that over here you can see this will be the window look like when you will open the executable file. It will give you the path where your Python will be installed. You just need to pay attention to the checkbox over at the bottom. It's saying add Python, whichever version you will be having, to the path. You just need to check this checkbox because this checkbox is going to add your Python in the environment variable itself after installation. If you forget to uncheck it, you then have to manually go into the environment variables and you have to set it. Okay, so do prefer keeping this checkbox checked. And after clicking on install now, you just need to go into the next option and your Python will be installed. The best way to check that whether your Python has been installed in your system or not, so you can simply go in your command prompt and over here you can just directly say Python, and after that it will give you the version of Python that you are using. I'm using 3.8.1. There is not a big difference between 0.2 as well, so you can get this version as well if you want, or the recent version. Getting these 3 arrows, these angular arrows, means that you are in the Python console now and you can start your codes to be written over here. Okay, this is an identification that your Python is successfully installed and you can start working. We'll not be coding over here, we'll not be writing any code over here, but for the sake of information, I'm just showing it to you. Okay, so now when I talk about I'll not be writing the code in the command prompt, so where I'll be writing it? For that also I need to have some place. And that place is nothing but our IDE, the Integrated Development Environment, right? You must be aware of the IDEs that we are working with nowadays. So when I talk about Python, there are 2 IDEs that I can work with. One is IDE that is PyCharm. Have you heard about this PyCharm IDE?
No.
Okay, no problem. So PyCharm is the IDE which is famous to work with Python language only. This works with Python only and there is no language that is supported else for this. Only Python, if I'll just say. Okay, now when I talk about only Python, there is also 2 versions in PyCharm. One is the free version. In the free version, I just get the support for Python. I'll not be getting any extra support. I'll show you which the extra supports I'm talking about. You need not to pay any amount to get it and you can directly start working it. And the second version that we have is the professional or paid version, you can say. Professional or paid version. In this professional and paid version, along with the support of Python, you also get the support for HTML, JavaScript, database, MySQL or SQL, whichever is available at the PyCharm version. These supports are also provided. So if you want to work with these three things as well in your PyCharm ID, you can go for the professional version. Otherwise, you can simply get the free version, which will allow you to work with Python. Okay. Now similarly, this is one of the IDE that we can work with. There is another IDE, Eclipse. This Eclipse is famous to work with Java only. Usually the Java development codes and the testing codes are right over here for Java. But using a plugin, I can use this Eclipse for our Python as well. I just need to have some plugin to be installed, and it's ready to use with Python. I'll show you the configuration of this plugin as well, along with the PyCharm as well. We'll be discussing both of them just now. And this Eclipse is absolutely free of cost. There is no amount that you have to pay to get this in your system. Okay, so we'll start discussing them one by one. Let's just first talk about the PyCharm, and then we'll move further to the Eclipse. Okay, so will close it. For the PyCharm, you just need to simply go over the PyCharm downloads. The very first link, www.jetbrains.com. You just need to go to this link to download your PyCharm. Okay, will share the link as well in the chat. Okay. Now over here you can see on the screen there are two variants coming, two versions coming. One is the professional version, one is the community version that we have discussed. This community version is the free version, and this professional version will provide you the support of scientific and web development. If you are developing some site in Python, this is the best version that you can have. So you can download it as well. I'm just going to work with Python, so will download the community version. And I click on it, and it will also start downloading the executable file. Also have this PyCharm in my system. The installation of this executable file is very much easy. It will just ask you to provide any default workspace where all your Python codes will be saved. So you need to just give that, and next, and your PyCharm is ready to use. I'll show you how actually this PyCharm window looks like. If I'll just go over here in the bin, this is the executable file. Will run it. So this will be your welcome screen like this green and yellowish shade. This is some of my workspace which is already open. So will close it, and I'll show you the window which will be opening when you will firstly going to get your PyCharm started. Okay, so I'll cancel it. Just wait. So this is the screen that will be opening over here. This is the recent files, whichever recent files you have reached or you have opened, they all will be displayed over here at the left hand side, but I'll cross it, and this will be the window that you will be able to see. Okay, now if you have some project, you can open it and you can create it as well according to your wish. If you want to create it, just click on create, or you'll go to the open option. I already have the workspace ready, so will go to that over here in the PyCharm, the PyCharm workspace. Okay. So it will open that particular workspace that I have specified at the time of installing the PyCharm. Okay, so I'll close it. And there is another file which is already created, so I'll remove it. Okay. And from here as well, edit configuration and minus. So this will be your workspace for PyCharm. What you need to do is you have already created the workspace. If you'll right click on the workspace, it will give you the options to create new files. Okay, now over here you can see it's giving you the option to create the Python package, Python file. Along with that, it's giving you the options to get the HTML file as well, and there will be others as well. So if you have a professional version, you will be able to create the HTML file as well. So will simply create a Python file just for the sake of information, and I'll name it as demo. Okay, now my file is ready. I'll just have to write a simple syntax. This is my print syntax for Python, print, and I'll simply will inside the double quotes I'll say this is my first PyCharm project. Okay, now over here my code is right. This is a simple code, right? What I need to do is I need to set the interpreter for it. And how I can do that? Because at the time of installation or creating project, it will not ask you to provide any interpreter. How I can do that? You just need to go over this option in the edit configuration. I just want to remove it. Okay.
Did I lost you guys?
Uh,
I think we lost
I'm,
just
yeah,
Okay, are you able to see the screen now?
yes, now we can.
Okay. So till this part you are clear, right? We are creating a print statement and it's the sample code. What we need to do is we need to get the interpreter ready. So I'll go to this option over here. I am getting this interpreter because it's already set. When you will be starting, you will be getting the option of add configuration. And when you will click on that add configuration, this kind of dialog box will be opening. You need to click on this plus icon. And once you click on this plus icon, it will give you such commands. You need to go to the Python and it will give you a prompt like this in which you have to give the name of your script, whichever you want to run and you want to interpret for. So you'll select it from here if you want to select it. I'll click on this demo. I want to interpret this file and run this. So the same name file will be over here in the name of my interpreter. What next I need to do is parameters are not that compulsory, so you can skip that. You need to go in the environment. If you have already Python in your system, because firstly you will be getting Python in your system, then working towards the interpreter. So Python is already in your system, so it will automatically be picked up from here by this environment variables only. If you have checked the checkbox, it will automatically come over here. If you haven't, then you have to manually get it figured out in the environment variables and then you will be having it here. Okay. After doing that, you just need to click on apply. Okay, so I'll change it to, let's say, Python demo 1. Apply and OK. Now my interpreter has been updated to demo 1. Whichever files I have given over here in the interpreter, that will be running. I can run this code using this run option, and this debug option will help me to debug it line by line. So I'll run it. And now over here, this is my console where my output is coming. And it says, this is my first PyCharm project. The statement that I have given, the same statement is coming over here. Okay. So this way you can work with the PyCharm. It's very easy to work with PyCharms. But that's the thing that you need to configure the interpreter correctly according to the package or the file. Okay, this is the thing that you need to be pay attention to little. Okay, issue with PyCharm? Any issue with the PyCharm or the Python installation?
Do we need to configure interpreter every time whenever we are adding a new file?
If you are adding a interpreter for the package, so as many as files will be there, you need not to do it again and again. The same interpreter will run for the single package, or you can do it for
Okay,
the
got it.
project as well.
Yeah. Okay, got it. I mean, the reason, why I got confused is the file name is demo.py, right? And again, interpreter name you are trying to give demo.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's where I thought like we need to configure interpreter for each and every file.
No, no, no. If you have a project, we want to interpret the project at one go, you can simply just give
Hmm.
the name of that project in the script name, and that whole project will be
Hmm.
interpreted by the same interpreter. Okay.
Okay, okay, got it. So interpreter is at project level or at workspace level?
Yeah. Any other doubts? Okay, I expected good to go with the PyCharm. So this is how you can work. You can try working with this PyCharm. If you feel it comfortable, you can work with it. Okay. Now the same way we have discussed two IDEs. This was one. Let's move to the second IDE. The second IDE that we have is Eclipse, right? So I'll just will go to Google again, my browser, and I'll simply will say Eclipse download. Now this Eclipse is very wide. It has a number of applications to different languages. I'll just show that. I'll just will share the link from where you can get your Eclipse downloaded.
We still see your PyCharm window only. I'm not
Okay,
sure, about others, but for me, it's not.
okay, is it fine now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
it
it's
is
fine.
Eclipse. Yeah, it's a little lagging. I don't know.
Yeah, there is little network issue over here. Might be because of that. I've just figured it out. So I'm sharing the link from where you can get your Eclipse downloaded. Okay, now this is our Eclipse window where you can get your Eclipse download. If you have the Windows PC, you can just go to the download 64-bit and you can get it installed. Okay, but if you want this IDE, this Eclipse not to work with Java, you want it to for another languages, that is also an option. You just need to go to the download packages. And if I'll scroll down more, the Eclipse is available for the Enterprise Edition, which is mainly used for the Java based applications, the websites that are made using Java. So Enterprise Edition is worked for that. Then you have it for C, C++. Then PHP is also supported by Java. You can see there are so many applications of this single IDE. So I can work with this using Python as well. So whenever you will be clicking on any of the link, it will install a download installer. It will not install an Eclipse executable file, but an installer itself. So if I'll click on Windows 64-bit, it will start downloading. Download. Thank you. And the zip file starts downloading. So I'll cancel it. I'll show you the output, how it's going to come like. So if I'll go to the System Explorer over here and in the downloads, okay, just wait. So after extracting the executable file, you will get a window like Eclipse Installer Windows 64. This will be the file name that you will be having. This is nothing an application, an installer. So if I'll run it, I'll show you. Just wait. So you can see it says Eclipse Installer. As many as packages that I have shown you till time, they all will be listed over here. So if you have incorrectly you have clicked on some another link, you had to download some another one, so you just need not to worry. Just click on the right link in the installer and that will be installed. Okay, so you can see all those are still available over here. I want it for the Enterprise Edition. It will provide, I'll click on that, it will provide you the installation folder where your Eclipse is going to be installed, and you need to click on install simply. It takes a while. It takes around 2 to 3 minutes to get it properly installed. So just wait for that time. Once it's installed, then we'll discuss it more.
So we need to have Java before installing Python.
Yes, because if you're working with Eclipse, Eclipse only works with Java. Unless you don't have this Java, it will not be installed. It will give you an error every time you will be installing it. You can have JDK 8. JDK is the very stable version for Java. I also have the JDK 8 only. It's still installing. So it has been installed successfully and it's giving me an option to launch. So once I'll click on this launch, it will ask me for the workspace where I want to start my work for, and I want my codes to be run. Okay, so just wait, it takes the time to open.
For this entire session, we will be using Eclipse or PyCharm.
We'll be using Eclipse because Eclipse is way much easier than PyCharm because you don't have to configure the interpreter again and again. You'll see the
Makes
difference.
sense.
I'll just show you how actually it's going to be. We have seen PyCharm, we'll be seeing the Eclipse as well. Whichever IDE you prefer working with, you feel comfortable with, you can go for it. Okay. So this is the default workspace it will be asking for. You can change it as well from the browse option. I'll create a new folder inside it and I'll say new folder and I'll name it as Eclipse. Okay. I'll select this folder and this is my workspace. You can keep it as default and so that this window doesn't come up again and again, and you can launch it. So it will open now. It's taking some time, just wait for a moment. So this is my Eclipse welcome screen that I'll be getting. This is the welcome screen. If you want to go to the informations, you can go through all of these links. If not, you can simply cross this. Okay. At the right hand side, at the left hand side, I have my project explorer. Whichever projects I have, they all will be displayed. These are the outline and task lists. They are not that important, so you can just keep them closed. And over here, you will get all the options to get the servers for the web development, the servers. Then we'll have the console also over here. So we'll just see how the console is going to look like. But before that, I said this Eclipse is mainly used with Java. So I will not get the option to work with Python. So if I'll scroll it in the new option, I'll not get any option to create a Python project. Over here, I don't have it. And if I'll go into the others as well, I don't have any Python folder or PyDev folder to create any package. So I need to get a plugin installed as we discussed earlier. So I'll get to this help tab and I'll go to the install new software. I'll give the plugin, that is https pydev.org/updates. This is the Python website actually. This is not something else but the Python website. I'll share the link plugin as well. Okay. Once I'll press enter over here, it will start collecting all the required dependency and files which are required. These are the two files that needs to be available when I have to work with Python in Eclipse. So I'll click on next and it will start collecting that again and we'll get it ready to install. These are the three things. I'll click on next. accept the conditions and finish. As soon as you finish, it will start installing the software. At the right hand side in the bottom, you can see installing software. It will give you some warning that this is an unsigned content. If you want to work with it, you just click on install anyway, and it will complete the installation. After complete installation, it will ask you to restart your Eclipse. You just click on restart now to apply all the changes and to implement the plugin that I have just added. For that, it needs to get the restart. So my Eclipse will restart. Just wait. It's restarting, so I'll wait. It will again open up with the welcome screen, so you can close it. Now if I'll go to my file option in the new, these are the Java supporting files. So in this I'll not be getting the Python option, but over here in the others I'll get a folder PyDev. Now in this PyDev folder I am able to create the PyDev project, package, module, whichever I want to. Even though if I want to go for the Django project, if you want to use Python for web development, you can also create that. Okay, right now I want to make a project in Python, so I'll click on next and I'll give the name of my project, let's say basic, and now it will give you the information that what is your default workspace. If you want to change it for your codes, you can just click on this and you can browse again. Preferably keep it same, don't change it again and again. It will provide you the project type, it's in Python type. After that, the error, you can see the error over the dialog box that the interpreter not satisfied. Sorry, not specified. So you need to click on this link, please configure. While installing Python, if you have checked that checkbox, you will click on this config first and path. So this option will collect Python from the environment variables and will get the interpreter ready to use. If you haven't checked that checkbox, you have to manually go into this configuration part and you have to add it in your interpreter. I already have checked it, so I'll click on config first and path, and after that it will start configuration. So it takes a time, it takes a minute or two to get it properly ready to use. So it's right now in process, so wait. Once the configuration is properly done, you will get a drop down like this, providing the interpreter knowledge that which interpreter is being configured. So it's just configuring. Just wait. So you can see the configuration is completed and it's giving me interpreter currently Python. These actually are same, the Python and the name. If you have any another version, if you have two versions of Python available in the single system, so it will give you both the versions. Whichever version you want to use as the interpreter, you can simply choose that. I only have one, so it will give me the Python version only. I need to click on the next or the finish. I don't want to open the perspective. And now my project is ready to work. This is the interpreter that will be applied on all my project, that on all my files, my packages that I'll be making under this project, and I don't have to configure it again and again. Inside this project, if I'll just create a simple file as I did in the PyCharm, I'll name it as demo. Okay, so I'll close it. You're able to see the font?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the default statements that will be given as soon as you will create any of the module. Okay. Now before going into the code, I'll just will take you to this module, that what actually this module is. If you'll right click on this module, it will give you a number of options to copy, paste, rename, refresh, and some options like this. But the important one is this properties, because using this properties it will give you the proper path in your system where this file is actually lying, and you can go to that system location using this option show in system explorer, and it will take you to your my documents, my PC, and it will show you this like that. So if I'll just go back from this basic, now my basic is my project name, and over here it's a folder. Inside this folder I have a file in which my Python code is written. So you can understand by the structure of your system that it's nothing much, but it's a folder. Inside the folder I'm having some Python files. Okay, and they are distinguished by the extension .py. So there can be no confusion with the Python files from the another ones. Okay. Any doubt in the configuration of Eclipse? Okay, I expected good to go. I'll just will take a print statement. Let's take print, and inside this print I'll give this is my first Eclipse code. Okay, now I'll save it. To run the code in Eclipse, I have three different ways. I can run it in three different ways. From this option, from this green button below the Windows tab, I just need to click it, Python run. Okay, you can run it from here. And in the console, it gives me the statement that I have given. This is my first Eclipse code. Secondly, you can run it from the workspace directly. Just right click over that and click on the run as option. And over at the Project Explorer, in name of the file, right click and run as. So you can run these codes three ways in the Eclipse. Okay, any doubt? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'll try to install Python in case of any questions tomorrow.
Sure. Okay, so this was the configuration of your Python programming language with the IDEs, with two different IDEs. I will suggest you to download both of the IDEs and try working both of them. Whichever you feel comfortable with, just try using with that. Okay? Because it's not compulsory if I'm using Eclipse, so you also have to use Eclipse. PyCharm is also good, so you can do that. The next thing that we need to take a look in this class is that how we can get Selenium in our system. So I'll just will tell you that as well. Just go to Google on the official website of Selenium, that is selenium.dev. Okay, just need not to remember it every time. Just write Selenium and the first link will be Selenium's official website. After going to the official website, go into the downloads. And over here, when you will scroll down more, it will provide you the information like this. This is a tabular form in which all the Selenium information is given, that which language is supported, with which you can work with Selenium, Ruby, Java, Python, C# and JavaScript. These are the 5 languages that can support Selenium right now. Along with the stable versions, which stable version do we need to have to work with? For Java, we have 3.141.59, and for Python, there is 3.141.0. So they're almost in the 3 version. Selenium 3.0 is being used in all the languages. So I'm working with Python, so I'll go to the downloads link. And over here it will give a command. It's a command. Over here this is a command, pip install Selenium. So you need to write this command over in your command prompt. Okay, in the command prompt, run it as administrator. Just wait. Okay, now you must be wondering what actually this pip is. So this pip is nothing but an package manager which will help you to install, uninstall or update the external files or libraries. So Selenium is not a part of Eclipse nor it's a part of Python. It's an external file. So we need to use this pip to get our Selenium in our system. Whenever you will be installing Python, this pip will be available with you. So you need not to worry. It will be available in your program files. Okay. So I'll simply will say pip install Selenium. As soon as you will press enter after writing this command, it will start collecting all the requirements and dependencies which are related to this particular file, and it will successfully install it. I do have it in my system, so it will say requirement already satisfied. But just to confirm, just to recheck that whether your file which you have installed is available in your system or not, so you can simply say pip manager pip and just list. Using this list, it will give all the external files related to this particular pip, and it will give you the list along with the versions. So if I look for the Selenium, this is my Selenium with the version 3.141.0, and that is the stable version of Python we have seen. Sorry, the stable version for Selenium with Python. So we have got that in our system. Okay, this way you can get Selenium in your system. Any doubts till now, from the start of the class till now? Okay, I expected good to go. I will rest the class with these topics only because we'll be working with the Selenium and we'll be understanding it more in the coming time in the next classes. Till the time, get yourself ready with the IDEs, with the language you are using, programming language and the Selenium in your system, and we'll start working with it. Okay, so thank you for today and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.